what's up? So here I am with your CMSL June 2025 amendments. If you ask me if you guys have watched marathon, I've tried to cover most of the amendments in the marathon only, but I strongly recommend you to watch the marathon videos. Very, very helpful for you. And certain amendments have gone in detail as well. Wherever possible, I've tried to cover it in detail. And not only that, before even I start, I would like to tell that there are changes in these aspects. So see, I would tell you that there are two types of changes. Now I've directly taken the supplement that is given by ICSI. Now let us imagine I'm talking about new syllabus only. I'm not speaking about old syllabus at all. Now keep old syllabus aside. Now when you signed up for the new syllabus, now let us imagine if it is in 2024. If you guys have got your materials, so that time whatever the content was not there, now they have updated in the new material. So in the last time, if you guys go and download the material now versus the material you have already downloaded, these two are different copies. Now the problem is in this supplement, whatever the changes that has happened in the book, that is not updated in the supplement. So now I will tell you the list of things that has changed with chapter. I've already uploaded the marathon on ArivuPro Company Secretary channel. I would strongly recommend you guys to watch it once, because that is where the amendments have happened. And in addition to amendments, there are some changes that has taken place in the book which has not been captured in the supplement. So that is important for us. It's not there in the book. That doesn't mean that it's not there in the amendment. That doesn't mean that it's not important for us. That is equally important. I hope you are getting what I'm saying. Now I'll tell you what is the list of that one. The first one, people, it is in chapter 2. I'm saying major changes. We had something called as market surveillance. If you guys remember, we had something called as preventive and post surveillance. There is a little change. Watch marathon, that comes under chapter 2. The second change that has happened, people, is in chapter 4. This is under scores mechanism. Again, I'm telling you, there is a little change. Again, in marathon, I've tried to cover that as much as possible. Again, watch it, important. The next one, people, of course, I forgot. Next one is in, again, chapter 2 only. If you guys remember, there was something called as SME platforms. We had BSc and NSC. The BSc platform has undergone a lot of changes. So that entire part has been changed. So important from our exam point of view. Remember and go. I've again discussed this in the marathon. The next one, people, is with regards to chapter 7. IFSC, the total listing. There were many types of listing that could have happened in IFSC. If you remember, the entire part has been changed. So complete part has been updated. Every listing has been changed. So that is also important. I've discussed in the marathon videos. Go and watch. The next one is, people, which one is, next one is chapter 11. This is with regards to the prior intimations. If you remember, with regards to LODR, we used to have something called as 2 days, 5 days and 11 days. Now everything has been made uniform. There has been a change there. Go and watch marathon. Next one is chapter 13. In this, it's nothing but prohibition of insider trading. In this, there has been one regulation called Regulation 5. If you remember, what is Regulation 5? It's nothing but it speaks more about trading plan. That complete part has been changed. Important from exam. Watch. The next one is chapter 17. That is eligibility criteria. What is chapter 17? Mutual funds. So eligibility criteria for registration of mutual funds. There has been a change. Now some changes have been captured in your supplements. Some are not. If you ask me, Out of 7, 1 or 2 has been there in your supplements. Not everything has been there in your supplements. Exam point of view, it is important because it has been there in the recent material. So I've covered all of this in the marathon. Please go and watch. It is very, very important. I hope you're understanding that. In addition to that, now in this, what I'm going to cover, in this, I'm going to cover your only amendments, which is very, very minor. That is what I'll be seeing here. But I would recommend you guys to watch all of this. Go back to marathon. For a reason, I've given you chapter numbers. Go and watch that. Now, in addition to all of that, a delisting chapter, there has been certain good changes. Whenever that change has come in amendment, what I did is I've uploaded a complete chapter on delisting only. Watch that, very, very important. Again, a lot of changes have happened. I mean, here and there. Watch it is what I'm trying to tell you. You go and watch it. Clear? You can cover it all of this in within one day, but I'm telling important. Watch it. Clear? Hello? Done. Just give me a second. Okay. So coming to amendments now. The first one, basics of capital market. Has there been amendments? I'm saying, Jairaj, can you come here 1 second? So there has been something called chapter 1. They have added something. Now what is that? Where they have added also, I'll tell you. You directly go to your alternate investment funds. If you remember, we had something called alternate investment fund. We had this. Now in this alternate investment fund, we had category 1, category 2, category 3. These funds were there. So here there has been an amendment. Now what is that amendment, sir? Prior people, we had something called, venture capital funds. For that, we had a different regulation. If you see, previously we had a regulation called as SEBI Venture Capital Fund Regulations 1996. So previously we had something called as Venture Capital Fund Regulations 1996. So I'll tell you what is this. Now what happened in 1996, there was SEBI Venture Capital Fund Regulations. So if at all you want to start a venture capital fund, they directly went and registered with Venture Capital Fund Regulations under SEBI. Now what happened with time, they introduced a new regulation also. If you see, when we read category of AIF, we have a category, that is if you look at category 1, category 2, category 3. Now here we used to refer, there is something called as venture capital funds and all, if you remember. So I mean, why I'm saying that is, later on SEBI came up with alternate investment fund regulations as well. So under that also venture capital funds were covered, and they were more recent in time. So eventually what happened, the venture capital fund regulations that was already there in the past, now this started getting repealed. Venture capital fund 1996. So what did they have to introduce? They introduced a new category of venture capital funds. They introduced a new definition, and that new definition itself is what is the amendment. And that new definition was called as migrated venture capital fund. What is migrated now to understand? Earlier there was SEBI regulations called as SEBI Venture Capital Fund Regulations 1996. Venture capital funds got registered under that. After getting registered, now there is a new regulation under the route called alternate investment fund. Now whoever got registered there, now because there is a new regulations called AIF, they had to come and register here as well. So we started calling such type of venture capital firms as migrated venture capital firms. Migrated means nothing else. The people who are under that now will come under this. That is what is the amendment. But read what it says. A new chapter has been inserted specifying the provisions pertaining to migrated venture capital funds and schemes launched by such migrated venture capital funds. A migrated venture capital fund means a fund that was previously registered as a venture capital fund under SEBI VCF 1996 and subsequently registered under SEBI AIF Regulation 2012 as a subcategory of a venture capital fund under category 1 AIF. Correct? This is what you would have seen in our books also. It will come under category 1 venture capital fund. Correct? That's all. venture capital fund means an alternate investment which invests primarily in so we had venture capital funds definition. Now it is said it includes a migrated venture capital fund. So for the venture capital fund definition, they have added this something called as it includes a migrated venture capital fund. Clear? Next one, sir. SEBI may specify enhanced regulatory reporting and other measures for venture capital fund that do not seek registration as a migrated venture capital fund in terms of Chapter 3D. What is that, sir? For those people who do not call themselves as migrated venture capital fund, SEBI can put some more enhanced regulatory measures. What do you mean by enhanced regulatory measures? Enhanced means what, people, compared to you, if at all, imagine a person called himself, he accepted to be called as a migrated venture capital fund, and the other person did not come under migrated venture capital fund. I will start imposing more stricter regulations on the person who do not want to be called as a migrated venture capital fund. That is what is the amendment. Done? Simple. Okay, done. Next one, sir. SEBI alternate investment fund. We had something in category. What do you mean by category 2 AIF? Category 2F means which does not fall in category 1 and category 2, and which does not undertake leverage or borrowing other than as permitted in these regulations. The words to meet day-to-day operational requirements are omitted. If you go back and see, we had something like this for category 2. Which does not fall in category 1 and category 3, which does not undertake leverage. Leverage means nothing but debt, meaning you're borrowing money. So category 2, when alternate investment funds are not leveraging, meaning they're not taking debt, okay, or borrowing other than to meet day-to-day operational requirements and as permitted in these regulations. What do you mean by that? Generally, a category 2 AIF cannot take debt. But they are telling you there are two exceptions. Exception number 1, if at all there is any category that is given under the AIF regulations, then you can do. If your regulation says for this you can take debt, you can take debt. That is exception number 1. Exception number 2 is nothing but to meet your day-to-day operational requirements. What is operational requirements? To run the show, to pay some expenses. For that you can take debt. Today they are telling you to meet the day-to-day operational requirements. This has been omitted. What do you mean by that? Going forward, even for meeting day-to-day operational expenses, you cannot leverage debt. That is the amendment. Sir, on the scale of 1 to 10, how important is this amendment? I would say 2. Okay. Clear? But yes, it's there. We need to know. That's all. Done. And always remember, people, I had to tell it in the first only, before watching this amendment, always make sure, I'll tell it always, before you go for an exam, make sure you watch at least 2 amendments video and go. Now you're watching June 2025 amendment video. You make sure you watch December 2024 amendment video as well. Important. Clear? Okay. So see, whenever it is March 21, that means, people, I would have already covered in December 2024. So I will not be covering it in this amendment. Anything that happens in June and onwards is what we'll be taking here, because this comes a part of your previous amendment. Clear? Yes. Okay. April. So it is done. Scores, I told you, go and watch the marathon. Next one, November 2024. We'll see what is this. Security market intermediary. If you see, people, in chapter 6 market intermediaries, we have so many people, right, as market intermediaries. In that we had the bankers to the issue. That is nothing but your registrar and share transfer agents. Also, you're basically your bankers to an issue. What were their role? So bankers to an issue had a lot of role. They will collect your applications in the IPO. Whenever people apply for IPO, if you do not get an allotment, they will refund your money. And whenever a company declares dividend, they will pay the dividend to the concerned account. That is a job of a banker, correct? For them, they said the bankers can also give more roles, it seems. They have more functions, it seems. What is that more functions? We know for a fact, in other chapters, we have also seen it. Which chapters? SAST, buyback. Fighter jet is going. Wait. I think they're going to attack Pakistan. Yo. No controversy. Okay. So you can open something called as an escrow account and all you would have seen. Now that where are you going and opening an escrow account? With a bank only, no? So that becomes other roles and responsibility of the bank only, no? That is what they have added. Providing escrow services for the purpose of issue management, meaning IPO, buyback, delisting. You would have seen open offer, SAST, right? Correct, huh? Next one, opening of a separate bank account for depositing the proceeds in IPO. So whenever you do an IPO and FPO, that money you raise, you need an account to keep that money. You can open that account with the escrow account. That is banker to an issue. Such other activities as may be specified by the board. Now this is the role, updated role and responsibility of banker to an issue. Is clear? Done. Next one, sir. There was merchant banker. For merchant banker, they have updated his role, it seems. What is that? See, responsibility of the lead manager, also called as merchant banker. Some responsibilities has been updated, it seems, substituted. What is that? No lead manager shall agree to manage or be associated with any issue unless its responsibilities relating to the issue, those of disclosure, allotment and refund, are clearly defined, allocated and determined. And not only that, it should also be disclosed in the offer document. What do you mean by that? Whenever you're appointing a merchant banker, you need to clearly tell what are the roles and responsibilities of the merchant banker. Why are we appointing him? Because they are getting paid very good money. So today they are telling you, whenever you come up with your offer document, in the offer document, you have to clearly tell what is the responsibility of our lead manager, what is the responsibility of our merchant banker. You need to clearly put it. Sir, now the question is, what if there is more than one lead manager? If there is more than one lead manager, you need to make sure people, the roles and responsibilities are clearly demarcated. Demarcated means what? Imagine we have appointed two merchant bankers. I need to clearly specify what are the roles of this manager, what are the roles of this merchant banker. I need to clearly tell that to avoid any confusion. Clear? Okay. Next one, sir. What is that? Merchant banker not to act for its associate. What do you mean by that, sir? Let us imagine a company coming up with an IPO. And the person whom you want to appoint as a merchant banker, he is your associate company only. Then you will obviously do all biased decisions, right? You will not be unbiased. You will always be favorable to the company for whom you are associated with. So they're telling going forward, a merchant banker being a promoter or an associate of either the company, issuer here means company, of the securities, or of a person making an offer to sell or purchase securities in terms of any of the regulations made by the board. Imagine like an SAST and all. That is, if you are trying to acquire the company, shall not lead, manage any issue or be associated with any activity undertaken under any of the regulations made by the board by such issuer, provided that the merchant banker who is an associate may be appointed if it is only and only for marketing activities. What is that, sir? Simple. If at all you are appointing the merchant banker who is an associate of that company or who is a promoter of that company, then they are telling you, you cannot appoint such merchant banker at all. That's the first one. They are saying provided, meaning proviso. That meaning you can still appoint it, since provided the scope of that merchant banker should be restricted to only and only marketing your issue and nothing more than that. If you're able to do that, then well and good. Nothing more than that. Simple, yes, sir. Nothing again very important and all, but yes, that's the amendment. General responsibilities. A merchant banker, if called upon pursuant to an agreement for underwriting to subscribe to the securities of body corporate, shall subscribe to the said securities prior to the finalization of the basis of allotment. Now, whenever we see underwriters, right? If a merchant banker is also an underwriter, so what is the role of underwriter? Whenever there is an undersubscription, they are going to purchase that undersubscribed part. So telling you, a merchant banker has to come and purchase that part before a company decides its final allotment. Let us imagine a company's IPO is subscribed by 82%. to become a successful IPO, your IPO has to be 90% subscribed. Now 8% is shortfall. So telling you, first you have to give the 8% to the merchant banker after he successfully completes the purchase. After that only you can allot the 82% for the public. Logical reasoning, what if after giving to them this person backs out? So first to make sure given it to them and then you give it to the people. Make sense? Next one, sir. I don't know if it is audible for you. Loud noise of jets are going here. Okay, a merchant banker shall submit to the board complete particulars of the transactions for acquisition of securities of a body corporate whose issue is managed by the merchant banker within 15 days from the date of entering into such a transaction. What is that, sir? A merchant banker shall submit to the board. Board here is people, SEBI, complete particulars of the transaction for acquisition of securities of a body corporate whose issue is managed by the merchant banker within 15 days from the date of entering into transaction. Meaning what, sir? If a merchant banker is anywhere associated with the company, within 15 days, I need to disclose all the transactions to the SEBI. If I enter into any transaction with the company for whom I'm a merchant banker, if I enter into a transaction with them, I need to completely intimate it to the SEBI. That's what they're telling. Clear? Next one, ICDR, December 21. So it's a very old one. It's nothing but your zero coupon, zero principal bonds. Feb 24, it's done. May 17, it's done. So there's nothing much in ICDR that is we need to discuss. So it's most of it is done. But I recommend you guys to watch the previous amendment videos. Yeah. Issue and listing of non-convertible securities. They have added okay, I'll directly tell you what is the amendment. You guys can go there only. So if I go to my 10.9, if I go to 10.9, the first amendment is here. If you see 10.9, so issue and listing of non-convertible securities, there was a process, filing of draft offer document. So here there was 7 days people, that 7 days has been now made 5 days. What is that? Before you go and issue an offer document, you have to first file your offer document to the stock exchange. The stock exchange will publish that draft offer document you have filed with them. It will publish on its website for public comments, and it will be kept on its website for public comments for 7 days. Was the previous thing. Now it is saying that before you go for an IPO, you file draft offer document with the stock exchange. The stock exchange will put it for public comments at least for a period of 5 days. 5 days is the time. Earlier it was 7 days. That's the amendment. Now, sir, next one. In that only, if you see disclosures in the offer document, I have to make sure everything is true. Mode of disclosure, where and all I have to display my offer document. I had to display it on my website and all of that. And I also had one more condition, that I have to advertise my public issue, meaning I have to put it in some public place. Correct? Now here there is an amendment. See here, the issuer, meaning a company, shall make an advertisement through electronic mode, such as online newspaper or website to the issue, or the stock exchange, or in an English national and regional newspaper having a wide circulation before the issue opening date. What do you mean by that? So today, before I go for an public offer, they're telling I have to advertise my issue. Now where and all I have to advertise? They're telling me I have to advertise people, one, on the stock exchange, website is the stock exchange, or my English and regional newspaper. Or now they're telling you amendment is people, you can even advertise it in an online newspaper. Nowadays people have online newspapers also, right? You can advertise on the online newspaper as well. If you remember, if you see Economic Times, if you see the Hindu, you all get it in online also. So you can advertise it there also is what they are trying to tell you. Now see, this is also another amendment. What is that? Provided that if the company is opting to advertise the public issue through electronic mode. What do you mean by that? Imagining I'm publishing it in a what is that? Electronic newspapers. That is whatever we saw, online newspapers. Then electronic mode shall publish a notice in the English as well as national regional language newspaper as well. What is that, sir? Meaning, people, if you are publishing it in the electronic mode, physical mode becomes mandatory. Now you guys can say, sir, if that is the case, then we will very well go and publish it in the physical mode only. Now the problem is, people, when you're publishing it in the physical mode, now you look at the content. How much will be the content? People, content will be huge. Now you know how expensive the newspaper advertisements have become. Just for your information, I'm telling you. Imagine if you want to give something in a visiting card size. You want to publicize or you want to market about that. People, currently the visiting card, if at all I'm speaking about Times of India and all, it will easily cost you some 2 lakh rupees or 1.5 lakh, 1 lakh. It's an expensive affair only. So don't you think it's a waste of cost? I mean, I'm saying minimum is that number. Now you imagine I'm telling you to publicize so much. You look at the cost that will be involved. So what they're telling you is, people, it's okay. We'll do one thing. What? If you guys are publishing it in physical newspaper, you need not have to publish the entire content. You can just give a QR code or a link to the complete advertisement in a physical newspaper. So when I'm giving a now English newspaper, let's imagine in Times of India, they're not telling me to give the complete content there. It is okay if I just give the QR code link. That is more than sufficient. So that is possible. So with time, even this is also getting updated. That's what they're telling you. That's the amendment. Is clear? All of you? Now that is one amendment. And if you come down again in the next page only, period of subscription. Earlier it said, people, the period of subscription will be open at least for 3 days, maximum for 10 working days. Now the 3 has been made 2. Now the minimum opening period will be 2 days, maximum will be 10 working days. Clear? Yes. That's the amendment. Clear? Huh? LODR May prior intimations. So this is one thing where I am telling you, go through this. We have discussed this in marathon. I strongly recommend you to watch it there. Yeah, important. In here also the same thing. In LODR also an equivalent thing. See, non-convertible securities and a QR code and the link. Same thing. Whatever we saw there is coming here also. Clear? What is that? Relating to financial results. That was public offer. Now when you are giving with financial results, same thing will come. See, a proviso is added. What is that? Provided further that a listed entity may publish only a window advertisement in the newspaper, meaning a small thing, and refer to a quick response code, that is QR code. They see most of you did not even know the full form of QR code. It's called quick response code. Even I didn't know. That's a different story. The website of the listed entity in the stock exchange where such financial results are available and capable of being accessed by the investors subject to the following conditions. What is that they're telling you? You just give a QR code link where the financial results are available, and if that is publicized in the newspaper, that is more than sufficient. Clear? For the non-convertible securities outstanding as on the date of notification of this proviso, the listed entity has obtained the prior approval from the debenture trustee. So take the prior approval from debenture trustee. You are very well. You can go and put a quick link. In case of any issues after the date of notification, the listed entity shall either make a disclosure in the offer document regarding the window advertisement in the newspaper. What is that, sir? Now, for the people who are now so used to, they are seeing the entire content coming in the newspaper. Now, if you want to go to QR code for those convertible securities, non-convertible securities, which was already issued, now for them to give you a QR code, they're telling you you have to go and first ask the debenture trustee approval. If he agrees, then go ahead. For the new ones, do one thing. In the offer document only, put it off. That whatever the financial results are, we will be giving you a QR code in the newspaper. You can just, scan it. If that is not possible, even then also you have to go through the debenture trustee route only. Yes, again, I would say amendment is 2 on 10. Yeah. Acquisition of SAST, I am telling you, regulation 5, it is mandatory for you to watch. Please go and watch. Yes, SAST. See, it's not here. But is it applicable? Yes, it is applicable. So you have to go and watch that. Sorry, in SAST, what is that? Sorry, regulation 5 was in your prohibition of insider trading. It is this one. Sorry, my bad. Watch regulation 5. It is here. This one. Go and watch this. So complete part I've explained you in the marathon only. So please watch it. Clear? Okay. Now people, chapter 14, they've added something called as prohibition of unfair trade practices. In this, they've added 2 things. What is that? See here. Now, if you see prohibition of unfair trade practices, there was definitions. In the definition, they have added one definition called as mule account. Now, what do you mean by a mule account? Try to understand. A mule account is nothing but people. Now, let us imagine I have, I don't have good money, but there is a person who has a very good money. That person will come and tell, you do one thing, in your name, you open one demat account and you give it to me. Let us imagine there is A, there is B. A tells B, you open one demat account in your name and you give it to me. The complete operations, everything I will only take a call. But the account will be in your name. If you guys remember your company law, in that you guys have seen this concept like a beneficial owner or a significant beneficial owner. Technically, beneficial owner suits more. You would have seen similar concept there. Basically what happens, the account is in your name, but everything is taken by this person. No? Now this demat account, I can call it as mule account. Why? Because the owner is different, but the person taking decisions, the person controlling this particular account is different. We call such accounts as mule accounts. Regarding that, they have said some things here. It includes a trading account maintained with a stockbroker or a dematerialized account, demat account, or a bank account linked with such trading account in the name of a person where the account is effectively controlled by another person, A, B. Whether or not the consideration for transactions account are paid by such other person, meaning who pays is not at all our importance, but they are telling people if at all you are controlling it, then it will come under you. Clear? That is what they have added. The same thing also, if you remember in regulation 4, we had only this first paragraph. They've added one more paragraph also. Transactions through mule accounts for indulging in manipulative or fraudulent. Meaning what earlier what used to happen, you're not supposed to do any unfair trade practices. Now what I will say, sir, I did not do, sir, that person did from my account. Now if I go and catch him, he will say it's not me. So what did they do? They started targeting the mule accounts as well. Now the mule accounts will also come under this particular transactions. That is what they're telling you. It's clear? Yes, sir. So it will be considered as manipulative, fraudulent, unfair, whether you do through your account or if you do through mule account. If there is something unfair, it is unfair only. That is what is the amendment. See, transactions through mule accounts for indulging in manipulative, fraudulent and unfair trade practices shall be and shall always be deemed to have been included in sub-regulation 1. Meaning, we will be treating it as an unfair transaction only. That is one amendment. Clear? This is what they have added. I'm saying somewhere you can expect a 3-marker question, probably, or 2-marker question. 3 no, but 2-marker yes. They can ask you what is a mule account. Possible. This one part may be important. Remember and go. Yes, sir. Kana. So wherever the other generally it was only this transactions. They've added the mule account as well. That's all. That's the only difference. Nothing else. Clear? That's all. That is this. Delisting. I'm telling you, watch the entire chapter. I've already uploaded. Watch it. Important. Next one, buyback of securities. There is nothing much in buyback. One was in prior thing only. There is nothing there. And in the new thing, they are telling you that earlier they had used a different word. They had used the word called sets out a lower amount. Instead, they have replaced it with whichever is lower. Technically, for you, it is not an amendment at all. It is a wording change. The meaning is still the same. So why, what, and all, don't care. It is okay. Leave it. In case any member of promoter or promoter group has declared its intention to not participate in the buyback, the shares held by such member of the promoter or promoter group shall not be considered for computing the entitlement ratio. Meaning what, sir? Let us imagine a company is going for a buyback. A promoter says that I am not interested in this buyback. So he's also said, I do not want to participate also. Then they are telling you, when you come up with a ratio 1:2, 1:5, you will come with the entitlement ratio, right? In this, you are not supposed to take that promoter's count who has clearly said, I do not want to participate, because you know that he does not want to participate. So leave his category and come and arrive at an entitlement ratio, so that at least someone who is interested will be able to take it from them. We know for a fact you are not going to participate and you are quite vocal about it. So we can take that particular thing from him. Clear? And what is that? The words record date under subregulations, regulation 17 of regulation is substituted by the date of public announcement. Accordingly, the buyback offer shall not open not later than 4 days from the date of public announcement. Meaning nothing but earlier we used to say, what is that? When will the buyback open? You will say that today the buyback will open. You will get the letter today. You will intimate them. From that day, when will it open? They said it was from 4 days. Within 4 days, it has to open. That 4 days is from when? They have said it will be from the date of public announcement. It shall be not later than 4 working days from the date of public announcement. They're telling you, you can go for a buyback. Next one, companies shall not issue, what is this? If you remember, once you go for a buyback, in the next 6 months, we had, what is that? In certain case, that you cannot again go for a further issue. Now imagine if I have bought back my equity shares, I cannot again issue equity shares for the next 6 months. We'll have some cool off period. So they're telling you, some cases will not come under that cool off period. Let us assume I have bought back my equity shares in January. In the month of March, if I have to give this equity shares only to my employees as a part of ESOP policy, long back we had given. Imagine we had given convertible debentures. Within this time only, the convertible debentures also becoming equity. In such case, what do? Can I not do because there is a cool off period? In the law only we had seen that it's okay if it's a sweat equity, if it is a employees, or if it's a convertible portion, you can still go ahead even if it is coming in the cool off period. That was already there. That is not an amendment. Then what is amendment? They're telling you need to give the disclosure in the public announcement. That is what they're telling you. What is that? See here, provided that the relevant details and the potential impact of such subsisting obligations, if any, shall be disclosed in the public announcement. What do you mean by that? When I'm going for a buyback, at that time only I have to clearly tell people in the next 6 months, within this time, we will have to issue some shares to the employees. There are some convertible debentures getting converted to equity. I have to give equity. What is going to be an obligation because of that? What will be an impact because of that? That I have to disclose. That is what they have given me. Clear? Yes, sir. Next one. What is this, sir? Mutual funds has notified regulation amended the provision SEBI mutual fund regulation. The definition of market abuse is entered, which includes manipulative, fraudulent, and unfair trade practice, which may contravene Section 12A of the Act or any other provisions of SEBI regulations or SEBI prohibitions. What is that, sir? Nothing but people, whatever is the manipulative, fraudulent, or unfair trade practice, which we have seen in chapter 14, has been inserted in mutual fund chapter as well. So here also, if you do anything like that, will still be considered as unfair trade practice only. That's all is your amendments. Now, I want to understand one thing, because we have completed with amendments before the exam is done. Now, as and when I'm recording, I want to know whether you guys want a numerical session on CMSL, and if yes, I will go live on that. But I want to know if you guys want a numerical session alone on CMSL. If the answer is yes, if I get to know that more people want a numerical session, you let me know. I will consider it. I'll try to take a session before your exams only, at least 8 days, 9 days prior to your exam only. But I want to know whether you guys are interested in CMSL numerical session, and that will be live. So let me know about it. Thank you so much. See you all. Bye-bye.